What's up, everybody, and welcome to my NXT review. A lot of things going on in the show tonight. What does NXT have planned for tonight's show, huh? What do they really got going on here tonight? And a lot of somewhat surprise finishes, I should say. The theme of this show is lots and lots of surprise finishes. Before this show even began, they had a video tribute for Veterans Day, which is today. So they kicked off the show with that. Johnny Gargano came out with his spinning wheel, apparently, since we've been doing a lot of spin a wheel, make a deal things. Gargano basically had himself a new t-shirt and kind of like a Cuphead old school type of 1920s cartoon type of thing going on. Very interesting t-shirt. Gargano had, his new love in the ring, which is the wheel, he says. And that led him to get his North American title. And Gargano talked about when there's a wheel, there's a way. And then, whatever name it lands on, he will face them. And they will get themselves in NXT, an NXT North American title shot. Because he talked about how he wants to break his NXT title loss curse, where he just wins the title and then loses it at his first defense. It has happened with both the NXT title and the North American title. Yeah, which is true. That's almost like some Sasha Banks level thing type of thing there. And Gargano spawning the wheel, and who's it going to land on? Is it going to land on Cole or Dunn or, who's it going to land on? It landed on Leon Ruff. Leon Ruff, who they signed from Evolve, which we have seen this guy as a jobber probably for a few months now, especially during this whole pandemic and whatnot. We've seen this guy appear on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, but he is signed to NXT now and whatnot, and he faced them, basically this real skinny dude and whatnot, and he's mostly been jobbing and everything. Gargano made it look easy. Damian Priest was watching from the other side of the, crowd, just kind of walked around just to scare away Gargano. Gargano kind of still focused on Priest for a second, distracted by him before he could do his, his whatever DIY kick. But next thing you know, Gargano got hit with a crucifix, and surprisingly, Leon Ruff beat him. Pinfall clean, by the way, and is the new North American champion. And he was shocked. Everybody was shocked. This was a shocker. I was surprised by this. I said, what the fuck is this? I'm like, really? One title defense, they took the belt off him. And he lost to a jobber, okay? And I don't even really know this dude that well. So now it's like you gotta take him seriously. Priest is celebrating with him. The dude is so skinny when he put the belt on him. The belt just falls to his feet, and he can't even keep the belt off because the guy is just so skinny. So that was something I did not expect to see, okay? Like, the guy's been mostly jobber and enhancement talent, but now this guy is all of a sudden a champion on this show. Okay, like, this guy's just a big... Now he's got a big major title. He's got the secondary belt on NXT, folks. The North American Championship. They basically, I don't want to say they made this guy into a star, and I know it has to do with most of the feud between Gargano and Priest, but I'm like, man, we making job guys in the stars. We putting belts on job guys now. Barely even know the dude. Never really heard of him. But now he is the champion. And as he celebrated in the back and everything, Priest told him, like, listen, congratulations, you're the champion. But Gargano's going to get really pissed off right now, and he's going to come back here and kick your ass. So listen, take my car and go, okay? And as he left with the title, Gargano was pissed off. He yelled at Regal. He told him to reverse the decision, reverse it, but that the match was final and whatnot. And Priest basically told him to go watch Wheel of Fortune and whatnot. So just a really very shock value surprising win. 3 title matches on this show, and 1 changes off the bat just like that. So something I really did not expect. Strange at the same time too. But that was kind of crazy. Next, cruiserweight title on the line: Santos Escobar versus Jake Atlas. Of course, they showed Jake Atlas once again running up on Legado del Fantasma, hitting DJZ with the bat this time. Listen, this was a good match, and don't get me wrong, they gave these guys some time out here, I'll say that. It's just, you look at the cruiserweight division, and trust me, I don't know what 205's got going on right now, but I feel like I've said before, it's the same, like, 3 to 5 guys that just kind of revolve around, and it wasn't a bad match. Okay, like both guys look good, and I guess they tried to, you know, try to make Atlas like, you know, show some fighting spirit out there and whatnot. Yeah, I felt like both these guys were kind of gassed at the end of this match, but after, you know, Atlas went for his like Rainbow DDT, and then Escobar dodged it, hit him with like a double underhook driver with the knee for the win. Like I said, it wasn't bad. It's just, you look at the build. There's not really a lot of build. Most of the build has just been what? Jake Atlas getting out of his car, hitting folks with baseball bats now. Like I said, it was a good match. I felt like it went a little bit long at the same time too. It went on a little bit long. But yeah, a good match though. Just like I said, a little bit too long, and like I said, the cruiserweight division, it just revolves around the same 3 to 5 guys. Okay, that's all much I can really take from that. Shotzi Blackheart, who had a promo, talked about her tank being destroyed last week, and that the tank means a lot to her and her family members that represent the military, which kind of convenient. It falls on Veterans Day when you think about it. So I guess we have to put some sentimental value into this tank, which is probably true for all I know, but very convenient now all of a sudden that, okay, the now tank represents, you know, her family in the military and whatnot. So that kind of came out of nowhere, especially on Veterans Day. But next, Raquel Gonzalez came out. She was supposed to face Zia Lee, but Boa came out and apologized, saying Zia Lee couldn't be here tonight because Gonzalez basically beat the crap out of Boa and threw him around and manhandled him. Just beat the living daylights out the guy and chokeslammed him then, basically leaving him in the ring onto the ground as he was rolling in pain. And next thing you know, the lights go out, and then there's like a dragon or something floating on the wall. And then this older guy comes out, hands Boa a letter, and basically he painted, he put something on his hand and walked off as Boa just, overreact. What kind of like Yakuza triad type of thing going on right here, right now? What is this? Some type of Chinese mafia or something? I don't know what's going on, because I can't say Yakuza because that's in Japan. That's Japanese. But some type of triad mafia type of what's going on with that? I don't get what's going on. And I don't know how this makes Boa look good after Gonzalez just beats the crap out of him. Don't get me wrong, I know they want to make Gonzalez, the new China and everything around here. But like I said, she just basically manhandled and ragged them doll around him like a sack of potatoes on roller skates and whatnot. But I don't know what this was. Okay, because you got like a flying dragon. I thought it was some Last of the Dragon type of mess. Like we got a dragon flying, and then this older dude. Like what is this? Some type of faction coming? I don't get what's going on here. I honestly don't. Like I don't get this whole type of some mafia triad stuff. Like I said, I want to say Yakuza, but that's in Japan and whatnot. So I don't understand what that was. Okay, I really don't know where they're going with Zia Lee here, okay? Because you got Boa. Now it's like some... What is this? Like, you dishonored the family? I don't know what this is. Like, I can't even answer that. So, I don't understand that. Mackenzie Mitchell interviewed Austin Gray, which he couldn't even really say anything. And Timothy Thatcher beat him up. And I guess Dexter Loomis was painting something earlier. And I guess Thatcher threw it into him, and when he turned around, Loomis looked at him. Regal made a match then after that. Tony Storm. It's Tony time, folks, went against Candice LeRae, which was an okay match, I'll say that. Pretty good. It ended up with Candice LeRae getting the win onto Tony Storm. Basically, kind of like a roll-up and everything. Yeah, it was basically about roll-up and whatnot, and she held her legs into the ropes. I was very surprised that Tony Storm has already lost already on NXT. That kind of came out of nowhere. But next thing you know, the Scream Mask person came out and helped Candice. Then Shotzi Blackheart helped in, which both Candice and the Scream Mask person got the upper hand. They did like a double stomp to the ground, which that stomp looked very horrible, by the way. It looked like Shotzi had to force herself to the ground. And of course, who's under the mask? It's Indy Hartwell, which, come on, that was literally no surprise. We all know who that was for over a month now. No, we all known that since Halloween Havoc. We know that since the vignettes with the TV and whatnot. So that's not really a surprise, honestly. Kind of figured it was her. We all figured it was her. So it basically was Indy Hartwell helping out Candice LeRae now. So there you go, and whatnot. But come on, very obvious of what's going on. But probably end up in a tag team match next week between Candice and Indy versus Tony and Shotzi. So watch out for that. Timothy Thatcher went against Dexter Loomis, which I actually liked this match in a way, on some levels. Maybe because it's both of these guys, but at a point in time, I kept saying Thatcher really needed a win right here because Thatcher takes way too many L's, okay? He really does. And the match wasn't that bad. I'll say it was pretty good. It ended up with Grimes coming out then, getting onto the apron. Loomis, basically, not Loomis, but Thatcher basically rolled him up and kind of had him into like a submission like type of pin, holding on to like the shoulders and the leg because Thatcher was focused on Loomis's arm. Thatcher got the win, but Grimes came in and started beating up Loomis. He put a burlap sack on him and then, kind of just started beating him up. Loomis started to swing a chair at him, but Grimes took him down, sat him in the chair, and did a cave-in double stomp on him then after that. So obviously this whole Grimes Loomis thing continues. Are we still doing the zombie thing? Because they actually keep mentioning the zombie referee on there, which he's actually a regular person. I don't know if he could just turn into a zombie and that by will and everything, but they keep mentioning that. And I thought they were done with this feud, but I guess Grimes is so traumatized, the zombies and everything. I guess he has to do something and finally get back at Dexter Loomis. So I just don't want to see the zombie thing again, after, especially what happened last week with the whole Kushida match. That finish was very dumb, so I don't know why they even did that. But I guess this feud continues, but just no more zombies, okay? And it looked like Cirque du Soleil Thriller out there. It didn't even look like real zombies. It just looked like a Cirque du Soleil thing going on. Johnny Gargano went up to William Regal's locker, not locker, but I guess office door, and basically told him to reverse the decision. He's calm and everything, and yes, I rigged the wheel. It's supposed to be a joke, but Regal says the decision stays, and Leon Ruff is still the champion as Gargano got pissed off then. Tommaso Ciampa cut a promo, kind of like the previous promo he did, talking about being in wrestling for almost 16 years now, and talk about people he's been trained by Harley Race and Killer Kowalski, and talked about both of those guys never had to tell people they were tough. They were just tough, okay? And people these days want, can't wait just to tell you how much they're tough nowadays, but it must be like a product or something, and people want to bark loudly, like you complain, you get what you want. And Ciampa says he's the last of a dying breed and whatnot, because of this culture in the locker room. He says this culture, he's going to change that in the locker room in 2020. So I don't know where this is leading with Ciampa. Great promo as usual, but is he going for the NXT title? I don't know. Then again, we don't know when Finn Balor's coming back. So a good promo. They also had a prime target video of both Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai from, Ripley going all the way back to WrestleMania and losing to Charlotte, and, Io winning it in your house. And now, with months now, Ripley trying to rebuild herself. Can she win the title from Io Shirai next week? I don't know. We'll find out and see. Pat McAfee came out with his faction, Oni Lorcan, Danny Birch, and Pete Dunne, as they talked about leaving Killian Dane a pool of his own blood last week. Pat just going on the mic saying Pete Dunne has been dominating these past few weeks. Talked about, tweeting to Tom Brady, having to come in this hellhole called Florida and everything, doing this whole, plane jumping thing, stomping mud hole someone's ass. Basically, he's trying to be The Rock right now, stomp a mud hole, but turn that sumbitch sideways. He's trying to be like The Rock right now. And that all wrestling fans are dumb, and we're gonna do what we gotta do, the tag team champions, and we're gonna sit next to that idiot Vic Joseph. I have no idea why this guy keeps coming to Vic Joseph's head, but he is going. I even called him Michael Cole Jr. at one point too. But in the main event, though, we did get Breezango versus Lorcan and Birch for the NXT tag titles. Like I said, Pat McAfee on commentary, which was pretty hilarious, I will say that. Pete Dunne was out there watching also. A good match, I should say, but and whatnot, which of course Dunne and Pat got involved. Rockstar Spud did come out, to help them, trying to go after Pat and everything, trying to help out, but Pete Dunne was able to take him out. It ended up with Lorcan and Birch hitting their finisher onto onto I think it was Fandango in the ring. Yeah, it hit on Fandango after one of them did a headbutt on him for the win. And as they all basically held their hands up, Spud had tried to attack them, but it turned into a 4-on-1 then. And Pete Dunne basically did the X-Plex onto Spud onto the table. Fandango tried to come in and help, but he couldn't do it. Tyler Breeze did. He couldn't do it. And they basically set up Breeze on the table and held him up in the bridge so Pat could do his little running punt kick on him for the ending of this. And NXT basically closed out that saying, "We're cool. You all suck. We're the greatest 4-man group in the history of wrestling and whatnot." So obviously this is most likely going to lead to a War Games match. Isn't that the next NXT takeover? If that's even an NXT takeover at this point, because even if they did a War Games match, the only other place I could see them doing this at is at the Thunderdome, okay? They sure as hell can't do it in a damn performance center because you got to fit 2 wrestling rings and 2 giant cages in there. So the only other place you could do it is at the Thunderdome, okay? That's the only other place they can do it if it's going to be maybe a War Games match between the Undisputed Era and Pat's whole crew. That's what I could see happening from this. But in this and whatnot, but maybe it'd probably be an 8-man tag in the next few weeks to like probably preview it. They probably will have like Spud, Dane, and Breezango go against Pat's crew, and they'll probably just have them go over and go on from that. But overall, good episode of NXT, I should say, from the main event itself to. Like I said, a lot of surprising finishes on this show. Leon Ruff winning the NXT North American Championship, which most likely Gargano may get it back by next week for all I know. What else? Trying to see. I guess the whole, the Shotzi Blackheart, Candice feud and whatnot. Okay, maybe it's not much I could say from that, but there was some good and there was some bad, like I said, from the ending and the beginning and whatnot. I did enjoy Loomis and Thatcher out there for a second. I don't understand the Zia Lee, Boa, or whatever's going on with that stuff. I'll give them credit for making Raquel Gonzalez look like a beast and everything, but yeah, Boa, Zia Lee, and whatever this triad mafia Yakuza thing is, I got no idea what's going on with that. I don't really want to see Grimes and Loomis again after the whole zombie thing, so maybe they got something different for it, but I actually thought it was going to be over. I like the Cruiserweight title match, but like I said before, it's just the same guys that are shuffled around. A good match, but in a way went too long, and what was really the build to this match when you think of it also, because I didn't really know it was going to be a Cruiserweight title on the line for this show. So with 3 titles on the line tonight on this show and one of them changing, NXT was not bad. Like I said, I still think NXT War Games is the next thing built into this, but also we still got the women's title on the line next week between Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley. So we'll see what happens on that on NXT next week. But I thought I enjoyed the show. I liked some parts and some that. So not bad at all. So other than that, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about NXT tonight. Check out the Urban Wrestling Network online right now. Also, like I said, it's a lot of people reviewing shows like I'm doing right now. We all fall under an umbrella and whatnot. I just got onto it. So yes, check out the Urban Wrestling Network on urbanwrestlingnetwork.com. Bodega Podcast and others. I'm trying to get everybody's names right, so give me time to memorize those, okay? Other than that, I'm out here. See you guys later. Peace out.